hey, it's time for a revolution. Now this one isn't quite as metal as some of the other revolutions in history, such as literally any of the French ones, but it's still worth looking at. Revolution is a budget game by a Romanian studio called Fun Labs, a studio that specializes in hunting games, published by Activision Value, a subsidiary of Activision responsible for such wonderful games like Shrek's Gameland Activity Center. Oh no, I'm gonna have to look at that one, don't I? Anyway, the premise of Revolution is that in this futuristic, pretty obviously dystopian environment, it's a futuristic dystopia. This intro just looks cool and that's it. This one's going to be a bit less of a summary and more of a playthrough, because Revolution is one of those games that I'd say to experience for yourself, but hopefully watching this video should show off enough of the game to make you feel like you've played it. I'm playing Revolution, so you don't have to, and the only reason why I'm playing Revolution now is because I used to have the game as a kid and decided, hey, that game looked pretty cool. So you ride in on a fancy taxi, sort of, and get stopped by a guard a few feet away. Alright. I'm actually going to let every cutscene I see play. There's not going to be a lot of them.
Your name?
Jack Plummer. I read about the announcement for the job at the maintenance department.
Yeah, so?
So, here I am.
Man, you're really egotistic there, aren't you, bud?
Okay, walk around while I check your ID.
Alright, just gonna stand here, I guess. We're gonna zoom the camera out a little bit. Yep. There's no music here or anything, it's just the sounds of cars flying by.
Jack Plummer, you're allowed to enter. Just go straight ahead.
Okay, and that's basically all the exposition we get. You're Jack Plummer, a man hired to work in the maintenance department of this corporation, and you're here to do your first day on the job. The only things you notice are that this is clearly a very nice society that you live in, with monuments stories tall, and a single guy typing up a really angry email about a power outage. Go past a couple doors and wow, that's exactly how you make an entrance. Statues of men holding up the building on their backs while a massive banner says power and control. Yeah, that totally isn't suspicious or anything. And honestly, I can't help but just be impressed with the details here for 2002. The statues look great, the environment is memorable, there's real-time reflections in the ground that aren't even screen space. This is a real reflection down there. Now, it might be just a small copy of the hall with a copy of everything in it, but like, thing is, I opened this door where the room clearly goes down and the reflections are still visible. I don't know what kind of trick they're doing here because there's no way this is ray tracing, but damn, that's how you make a reflection. Anyway, you get scanned, which yields slightly more exposition. This city is called Megalopolis, which is a bitch to pronounce, and you are a Special Forces veteran with experience in sabotage and liberating Asia. So now you're stuck unemployed asking for a broom just so that someone will pay you. I guess you get hired because you're not immediately executed and you wander into another, honestly quite fancy room. And this is a part where I get stuck on as a kid. You wanna know why? Okay, so there's a door, you can't go through it, and here's the thing on the table. What key would you use to pick it up? It's bound to you. This seems like a really stupid reason to not be able to advance, but I was 7 years old, I didn't know English, and this was my first-person shooter. There's a little bit of nostalgia here, but it's only for the environment, not the game itself. And honestly, even without the rose-tinted glasses, this game really shows off an environment that you just don't see too much these days anymore. So you pick up this instant messenger and head off into a corridor. A quick loading screen later, you see a quick glance into just how big this world is, and another cutscene.
What a surprise. Jack, is that you?
Juana, I can't believe my eyes. What are you doing?
It's really obvious that the voice actors had to make the most with what they had, but I'm impressed that in 2002 they actually managed to get people that know what they're saying. Good voice actors were way harder to get a hold of back in those days.
Well, I can't tell you. It's confidential. Now that you also work here, I'll tell you more when we meet again.
No? You signed an NDA. Either you can tell me things about your job now, or you can't. There's no in between.
You wouldn't be here.
Oh yeah, good answer. If I didn't already know you, I'd say you're right, but since we lived together for quite a while, I sense that this is just a fake answer hiding something.
Oh god damn it, I hate this writing.
To sense something. You're too suspicious. Now go if you want to keep your job. They don't like employees who are late. And besides that, don't you have to go to your apartment first?
Why?
You're right. I have to go now. How do I find you later?
Don't worry. I'll find you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, yeah, that was more exposition. The entire city, whose name I already forgot, is run by the corporation, because obviously we can't be bothered to think of any actual names for our corporatocracy's company in command. Or, wait. If everything is owned by one corporation effectively acting as a government, wouldn't that be state capitalism? I actually hate that cutscene. It's not like it's offensive in any way. This is what happens when you have 10 seconds to establish some kind of meaningful backstory, since they can't build it up naturally otherwise, but it's done so poorly that even high school me would have done a better job. Either way, a corporation having an entire city is a massive red flag, kinda like the ones we saw earlier, because you can really argue that the monopolistic practices of them can result in either a perpetuality of company stores that only accept the tokens that the corporation gives you as payment rather than cash, thus ensuring no free market, or by forcing people into perpetual credit and having them work it off a la debt slavery, but keep prices of the interest high enough that you'll never pay it off. So grab your suit from your apartment and just head on down to the only brick road to your job. This is generally an interesting topic, and I don't think society is coming anywhere near that sort of situation, but I kind of see a future where we'll live like this. Hell, if you use a little bit of imagination, it exists if you work for Amazon, buy things from Amazon, and when you have a good idea of selling something original in Amazon's marketplace, Amazon will just steal that idea and undercut you. Point is, buy local, don't let the corporations win. I know that Fun Labs were limited by tech and a very tight budget, but I'd have kinda loved it if I could just walk by and see that there's a thriving environment here with stores and people and such. I don't expect to actually interact with any of it, but this hallway feels like they wanted to make something bigger. I mean, we have the technology to do it now, but the only other example of a futuristic dystopian city that's heavily vertical was... So, a short elevator ride and a little cheeky message later, I end up in the sewers where my job is to perform some precision platforming as a tutorial. I know this game is trying to get some high points right now, but it just isn't a good platformer. It's not too hard, it's just frustrating because it's really easy to overshoot your movement. I'm gonna talk about the music real quick while I have a moment. There's like 4 tracks in the game total, and almost all of it is used in cutscenes. While you're just playing around in the game, it's a 6-hour bass-boosted ambient album produced by the sound of doors opening and air conditioning. And I guess you could argue that this is immersive, but you could totally play some actual ambient in the background and it just wouldn't have hurt the game any, like what I'm doing now. Or just go all in and start playing 9 Inch Nails. I mean, it's an objective improvement. The sound design isn't really that much better though. One of the walking samples has a very loud and noticeable pop in it, and it's done a beautiful job of infuriating me while I play the game. Now, it might not be noticeable right now, but listen to this. Do you hear that? I never thought a tiny little click like that in a sample would upset me as much as it did, but here we are. Otherwise, the audio is fine, I guess. Anyway, you complete your training and are ready to work in minimum wage maintenance debt slavery. Congratulations! You go to the maintenance hub and obtain your assignment. Your first job is to go into the sewers and fix something. Whatever, you're the new guy, go figure it out. It's not like the game's gonna tell you anything other than don't suffer 3rd-degree burns. Oddly enough, you also get a crowbar and a laser pistol, which also wasn't mentioned at all. There were no icons or text that you got them. The nice thing about the laser pistol is that it recharges after every shot and lights up the area around you. Worst case, I can use it as a really crappy makeshift flashlight, and best case, it's still a gun. It comes with a laser sight, but it hides the cursor rather than helps you aim. Interestingly enough, you also get a flamethrower and a shotgun. That's super generous considering I just started the game and I presume both would be extremely useful in my task of, I don't know, turning some lever or whatever. The shotgun comes with a flashlight, but it's genuinely the worst flashlight I've ever seen. Just don't use it. So, fall into some pipes, into some sewer water. There's a door I should be accessing and what sounds like a monster, but I can only see it clearly because of graphical glitches. I'm not complaining, but that's a pretty evil place to hide it. Also, my guns don't work in the water, both the laser understandably and shotgun slightly less understandably. Climb up a steel barrier to get out of the water to a side room, and I come face to face with my first enemies. Small and very annoying bugs that I can barely see on the ground. Yeah, sure, they don't hurt me much, but just normally around I'd never be able to see them. The laser pistol works okay on them, but their AI is brain dead to the point of going in a straight line, and they're way harder to hit than I thought. So I flip the switch, head back while the water flows away, shoot some of the weird creepy things on the wall, and just wander around pipes some more. These guys aren't really dangerous, they're more like a shrub you have to shoot. It really is just this for the next 10 or so minutes until I turn a few valves, get lost in a straight corridor, and proceed to die on a door and start the entire level over again. I figured out what I'm supposed to be doing this time because it turns out that a door I didn't notice opened, and I keep going through and it's just more of the same shit. I shoot some bugs, wander through more dark corridors, hit a few buttons, find an elevator, and turns out that's the actual end of the mission. So what did I do? Oh, if I know, I just flipped a few switches and dials and called it a day. Mission success, I guess. So I go up again, hit the stupid button, and I'm told to do something in the ventilation system. I do happen to find it, where I find out that my mission is to kill some taro birds. Really simple task, relatively enough. The game does take away my flamethrower from me without giving me any notification though, but that's okay. Using a flamethrower on birds that are way out of your reach is probably a bad idea anyway. And then it just turns out that the birds are annoyingly loud and they dodge my shots. Great, just what I wanted. The roof of the building looks cool, but after killing some birds, it's just a huge empty area to walk around in. You grab some stuff, get jump scared, and shoot a bird point blank as it tears through my armor. The pistol clearly isn't hitting it, so the shotgun cleans up my mess for me, and I go back in to grab the extra armor sitting there. This armor is a lifesaver, honestly. Then, just do some parkour, walk around a bit, go into a ventilation shaft, walk around some more, gun, and that's it. The funny thing is, I get a message about how there's a big nest of pterodactyls that I have to exterminate, hyping it up like it's a big boss battle, only to find a single bird that goes down in like 3 seconds. Mission success! Does this feel tedious yet? Do you want to click off the video? Because I want to do this too. I'm an hour into the game at this point and I realize exactly what's going on. Either this is the ultimate maintenance simulator, or it's trying to be cute like Half-Life where you dick around for half an hour. Except Half-Life had you dick around for one thing and one thing only before it got good. This game's single player is pretty terrible so far and I don't see it improving. And after I go through yet another shaft trying to head back, I get an urgent mission where I have to kill a bunch of chameleons in a diorama. Now, while normally there's no good justification for the systematic genocide of a species in a zoo, these were genetically engineered for military use and they were smart enough to just walk out the front door. They're hard to see but not hard to kill. I wouldn't really mind this bit so much if it wasn't like a maze. Even a real zoo doesn't get me confused with multiple stories that all just look the same. And you're trying to find invisible monsters running around somewhere in this maze? Guys, I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a minotaur. I don't like mazes where I have to backtrack and forward track and just go everywhere to try and find something that's running around on the other side of the map to spite me. Also, you end up in their enclosure at one point where you see a big button that just opened up a wall. Yeah, no wonder they escaped. It's like using a Cheeto on a lock and a chain link door with the words push written on it. After 15 minutes of just fucking around trying to find out what to do, turns out I somehow missed a single chameleon. And after killing it, I get nothing. No message saying cool thanks or whatever, make me have to think, oh god, am I still not done yet? And just by randomly deciding to bump into the same door that wouldn't let me out 5 minutes earlier, it just let me through and the useless messenger thing just forgot about me? Either way, I'm free from the curse, and as my reward, I get time for more exposition.
Kind of busy, huh? Working you from day to night, no time to relax.
Just fuck already.
Yeah, I'm a little tired indeed. Seems to me that all the complicated problems that appear down there at the hub are specially made for me. Wonder if they ever had any major problems before I came in.
That's a good sign.
What? What do you mean?
Jack, the corporation is not what it seems to be.
It's not some evil overreaching entity that only gives a shit about quarterly financials?
The new breed program is something that had deviated from...
Nice exposition. What are you on about?
You want me to help you?
I don't think she asked for that yet, but okay.
In an office building because you wanted
That's
to...
history, Jack. Now it's something much more serious. It's a very bad and complicated thing. Jack, I can't say too much here. I can only say that something is hidden in the walls of the corporation. This should clear some things for you.
Do you even realize how big this city is? It's called the Megalodon or whatever. I bet there's hookers out there that get paid to have their ass eaten with cocaine coming out. Yeah, it's a disturbing image to imagine, but hey, executives gotta executive, and when you own everything, nothing stands in your way.
That thing. We must talk again.
Okay, I understood. But I want you to know more details, like...
Jack, enough for today. It's not good to be seen together.
You two are a pair of alcoholics in a bar as far as I'm concerned. Nobody would question this.
Good luck.
And we're back to maintenance work. Yeah, this plot is enticing me with some little hints of a really sweeping generalization of 1984 mixed with Half-Life, which seems like the perfect game, but this gameplay... Man... All I can say is that the crossbow sucks. Or that the shotgun's overpowered. Or both. Who cares? The monster design is kinda cool, but this is more of the same shit. You go around, you kill some wildlife, you ride a conveyor belt, you walk down a catwalk, you snipe some wildlife, you walk some more, and find the elevator that sends you free. Only to be met with yet another maintenance assignment. Shoot some pumas, go through some corridors, find a room you're not supposed to be in, but it's not even remotely hidden. They got some pods and a human skeleton. Okay, that's kinda neat. Game, you're winning me back with this, but this is, what, the intro to Half-Life for a 5th time? At least they give out enough armor and shotgun ammo that I'm still going on, but like, give me some exposition or I'm out. And thankfully, the game decides to give me what I want. Even though I don't remotely care for the plot at this point.
The corporation stands for. This is not technology for the people.
Yeah, you
this
think?
This is technology for killing the people.
You'd be surprised how profitable the war industry is, Jack.
Turning us into identical living machines, so count me in.
Wait, hold on. Time out. There's going to be a massive plot spoiler just now, but it's pretty obvious by this point that there's a resistance moving trying to make a revolution happen. You know, because that's the name of the game. But right now, she's about to say what the name of the underground movement is called. So, put on some clown shoes, don't overthink it, and try to guess what it is. You might get it.
Okay, I'll say it once, so pay attention. There's an organization named Resist.
Wow, what a original name there, guys. I'm so proud of you. I can't even deal with this game anymore. Screw it, I'm just summarizing the conversation. She says nothing useful, just that at some point the resistance shows up and is gonna save the day or whatever. My next assignment is more maintenance shit, except this time it's just a big empty level. I went around for way too long before realizing that the level accidentally became unbeatable because of a bug. Like, this panel here was supposed to go through this door with me. Clearly broken, it's not going anywhere. After dicking about for 20 minutes in this surprisingly large but empty level, I just restarted it and speedran the whole thing in 45 seconds. The next level, you're just suddenly up against Terminators, I guess? They hit hard and have a lot of health, so yeah, while it would be cool to fight robots, they're not very smart either. It's not satisfying. They walk towards you, track you perfectly, and cause area of effect damage, so it's nearly impossible to dodge anything. While I'd normally think that this could be awesome, you still have to wander around aimlessly killing enemies at random until you find what looks like the tram from the start of Half-Life. Are you gonna make me do a tram level? Oh. Thankfully, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's not exposition for 10 minutes while you're forced to sit there and watch. Granted, it's yet another maintenance mission, drain the biodome and kill the fish inside. Okay, cool, you wanna know how do you do that? At the start of the level, this very obviously a wall shrub area that I walk past. You're supposed to jump on the pipe onto the grass and then do parkour until you land on the vents, and I'll be honest, I spent a whole day figuring this part out. Unfortunately, as I started and stopped recordings multiple times, OBS accidentally cut off the right side of the screen for the next few hours of gameplay. I mean, it's not that noticeable, but like the game is just annoying enough to bother me. Not annoying enough that I'm gonna replay through hours of the game though. This game isn't fun anymore, but hey, I wanted to be this game as a kid, I wanted to see some cool environments and what the hell happens in the plot. Thing is, the last interesting level I had any kind of interest in was a zoo, and that's when it started to get really tedious. So after completing the Biodome button puzzle, your next level is literally the exact same thing again, but slightly different. Kill fish, wander around aimlessly, hit button. The level after that is what's shocking. You take a short elevator ride. You ignore whatever's going on outside. You take a short walk through a ventilation shaft. And that's it. It was a minute long, start to finish, and honestly, it was kind of pleasant since it was just me looking at things in the map rather than having to find some minute detail to hit. Alright, so there's another cutscene, but this one I'm just gonna summarize it. She knows the corporation knows that she's an agent. She talks about how you're the chosen one or some shit. She tells you to go to your apartment to find whatever. But my attempt to find it was... Oops. Anyway, if you ignore your apartment, you can go to the next maintenance mission. Power's out, go fix it. I learned about the quick save key up around this time, so hopefully I do less backtracking, but this maintenance mission comes with a new challenge. It's these tiny little bugs that are really hard to see because they blend in and are annoying to shoot, but they're generally harmless. Kinda like the ones at the very start of the game, but worse. Why? Because I have to shoot them. That's my objective apparently. And let me just derail the topic of these annoying bugs into the idea of ASMR. Yeah, let's talk about some ASMR. The autonomous sensory meridian response is basically frisson, or a genuine tingling sensation, but for sounds that people find satisfying. It could be tapping, it could be eating food, it could be a Japanese guy trying to sell you a pen. But given a suitable combination of visual and audio stimuli, some people end up finding some sounds euphoric. These bugs give me the exact opposite of it, in that their sound is so unsatisfying, it's like an actual gnat gnawing a cavern in my eardrum to lay eggs in there, which mixed with that walking sound that has a pop-in leads me to hate this level. It doesn't help that the point is to clear out all the bugs, and there's not just like one level of them, but it's a multi-story maze that takes like 15 minutes to solve. This level really made me want to give up on fulfilling my childhood dream of figuring out what the hell is this game. But a few hours of bad levels isn't enough to make me give up. And for my perseverance, I'm rewarded with yet another maze-like level with the same bugs and invisible walls that instantly kill you for some reason. I walk around aimlessly, find a vent that I'm supposed to break open, and... Wait, is this a cutscene? Oh, is something actually gonna happen? Am I done wage slaving? Okay, I got no idea how to describe how excited I am for some kind of stimuli at this point. Just the suspense is killing me, and judging by earlier cutscenes, this is gonna be absolutely terrible, and I can't wait.
Congratulations. You're the first to pass our selection test.
You see, how should I put this to you? Well, the point is that the resistance does not really exist. Or to be more specific, it exists only as much as we want it to exist.
Yeah, I read 1984 too.
That we've initiated, because we need some way to find determined specimens like you. People who would do anything to get what they want. People who would follow their ideals no matter what. This is the essence of the new breed, and this is why you would be not only among its first pillars, but its very first offspring. The ones who will open new ground for our civilization. Please stop being so blunt and uncooperative. You will see that you will have every reason to be proud soon.
Oh. Wait, so that's it? We're just becoming some new breed thing and we're gonna go to the next level already? I mean, yeah, sure, I don't look like how I used to. This is some really good design to explain what your story didn't, but... Then I do the scanner thing like at the start of the game, except I'm glowing like it's Halo and I'm on my way to... Wait, there's a police car? Okay, so as far as I understand, I'm repurposed as the killing machine for the corporation. The new mission text is actually pretty buggy too. They accidentally have the first line appearing as the last one, so you have to read it like a bad Twitter feed. There's a bunch of terrorists with bombs, and your job is to stop them from destroying everything. You're also fully decked out with guns, which also would have been nice to know with things like sniper rifles and a nuclear charge. I'm not gonna lie, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is a massive, far open level, and while it's empty, it's also a beautiful rendition of the city. I mean, in Revolution's own special way. Here's the thing though, I can already predict where this is going. Normally, since there's a lot of 1984 inspired everything going on here, you can probably guess that 1 is basically their Julia XP, and the Resistance is some Emmanuel Goldstein and the Brotherhood shit. I mean, I'm assuming part of my audience read the books. But if everything is going the way that the corporation wanted it to go, well, there wouldn't be any need for me doing any of this war on terrorism crap. I'm calling it. There's gonna be an actual resistance. I can't see it any other way. So, after a bit of wandering, I was shot by someone halfway across the map. I zoom in, shoot him back, and... Wait, that's it? I killed all the terrorists? I didn't see a single one until this. So, I guess just... Am I done here? Yeah, it turns out I'm not. After wandering around the level for way too long, like the Biodome, thinking I had to go back to the start and swimming for ages, turns out there's a small hole in the ground underwater that you're supposed to go into, and I don't know if it's because my hardware is 20 years newer and does things weird, but man, I was really close to getting stuck here forever. And after a quick climb, you end up in a cathedral illuminated by floodlights to fight members of this terrorist organization or whatever, and they come in two forms. They either barely tickle you, or they deal substantial enough damage that they're a threat. It becomes a shooting gallery at this point, just without any real satisfaction or strategy behind your shots, just a lot of luck. I thought I didn't like the shooting because I was fighting against brain-dead birds, but really it's just unpleasant mixed with the fact that the AI is as complicated as a toaster. The next level is fighting those same enemies on a dam, and the lack of a pleasing atmosphere really starts to hurt it. I was hoping for something like this to be interesting, but it's essentially wander around until you find the hidden button that makes you progress further the game. Except this time, I spent 20 minutes trying to find some ladder obscured in an elevator shaft. Yeah, that might remind you of Half-Life, but here's the thing. There hasn't been a single situation of ladders in elevator shafts, even off to the side, so why would I assume there's one hugging the wall in this shaft, especially when there's no room to actually reach it? It's a blind drop. The ladder blends in with the background. How would anyone? So anyway, I end up getting lost again. By some miracle, I find out that the crossbow has an alt fire that launches a hook that pulls you towards it. There is absolutely no way that this is how you're supposed to solve the level, or any level of that matter, but for this, perfect sequence breaking material. So I play Spider-Man for a bit, reload the game, and then sequence break it properly. There's an elevator I was supposed to call, but I'm still not sure how the dam's supposed to be beaten properly. And really, that's how I finished the damn level. Just go through the shooting gallery and use a hook one more time because I couldn't be bothered finding the actual solution. I'll be honest, this game is losing me hard. This is when I realized that there's a gun other than the shotgun that's really unreasonably, unbelievably good. The laser sniper rifle. It does solid damage, it has massive zoom to fire on enemies across the map, and it recharges ammo passively. And after I turn a random corner, I just fade to black and I guess I'm done? So, a police car drives me to an apartment building where I'm supposed to do the same thing as I did in the dam, just fire at bots and hope they don't chop off too much health. I kill everyone and get stuck trying random doors, thinking maybe one of these is supposed to open. None of them do. I wander back and forth until I just shoot a window open in frustration, and that's when it clicks. I'm supposed to jump out of one of the windows. Okay, never mind. I guess that kills me. I do this all over again and just happen to shoot the window on the top floor. I wish I was joking, but that's the solution. That one time you climbed up steel bars that really seem like environmental walls? That's the solution. Then you drop down to a ledge that looks like it'd be a fast death, and I honestly have no idea what the hell the level designers think half the time. Because it's clear that they're trying their best here, but it feels like such a fever dream every time I progress. Yeah, it looks cool, but it plays terribly. Thankfully, after a little bit more shooting and me waiting a literal 2 minutes to get my health and shields to regenerate, I do the same thing again. I mean, the AI is still terrible, it's a crapshoot if I succeed or not, but The environment? I like the environment. Those are the only thing keeping me hooked at this point. Just bits and pieces of really interesting architecture mixed with a desire to get some closure in my life. But after a bit more climbing in places that really don't look like where you're supposed to go, and looking at that cityscape, you're treated to a level where you're doing the same thing as always, shooting the baddies, just on a moving monorail. Alright, that's kind of cool. Like, it's unique, it shows off the atmosphere. This idea is awesome until I slip and fall to my death. Then, as part of your crusade to stop the war on terror or whatever's going on in the plot, you head into some laboratories to stop them from stealing a DNA sample of something. After that, you end up having to chase the terrorists to some building in the Junkopolis and... Wait. What? Am I driving a car? Okay, this is awesome as hell because I get to explore the city, which is sadly just a bunch of copy-pasted buildings and ads, but hey, it's something! Actually, wait, no, it's not just something. This is something that even Cyberpunk 2077, a game that came out nearly 20 years later, doesn't have. Sure, you bounce around like a pinball, you have no idea where you're supposed to go, and I managed to clip out of the level somehow, but it's not shooting the same enemies that I've done for the last few levels. It's new, it's original, but there's a timer, and the level's repetitive, but I managed to find the hole I'm supposed to fly in, and I'm off to the next level. But unfortunately, it's just the same thing again. You walk around levels where for some reason I can't see anything mixed with swimming, but it's got some verticality, and it does give off the atmosphere of this place makes Detroit look good. Especially when you go down a random sewer that becomes a subway station, which then becomes a parking station, and then a shattered bridge. In it, there is this AI that tells me, so you're gonna shoot me, huh? Well, good luck trying to shoot me when I'm already dead! And while I would have been stupid enough to try and kill someone trying to kill themselves, they killed themselves before I got that opportunity. Eventually, after some more cheekiness with a crossbow hook, I walk through some alleys and find a single enemy standing in the middle of an open platform. Now, normally I'd have assumed that this is a boss, but the game already pulled that trick on me 10 minutes earlier and it was just a normal enemy. So why not just snipe them across the map with rockets and the laser sniper rifle? Well, turns out apparently that was a boss because I instantly go into a cutscene after. Oh, I should probably shut up for this. This is probably the biggest exposition dump in the whole game, and it's kind of important to Revolution's story.
He's awake.
Where am I? Who are you people?
I'm Marcus, the resistance leader, and she's Clara, one of my lead soldiers.
You're looking very familiar to me. You remind me of Juana.
We weren't able to contact Juana for a couple of weeks. Then some information came to us saying that Juana had been taken by the corporation soldiers into one of their genetic laboratories. Jack, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we have good information that Juana has been transformed into a breed. Unfortunately, we weren't able to save her since they have improved their breed program.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea how any of this works, and I'm pretty sure the game developers don't have any idea either.
The first human being that was transformed into a breed. With your help, we had the source code and managed to break into the system and modify it. And now, you are clean.
Is this an allegory against DRM?
A version which made Juana bold and aggressive. This new version is used to create soldiers that fight for the corporation for any price. In fact, that was the purpose. Your version of the program has a human component. That's what helped us.
So, Juana was their leader, and I've killed her.
Nobody said either of those things, Jack. I should probably mention, I'm not editing anything here. This girl genuinely has no voice lines.
Right. She wanted me to help you. The resistance.
That's right, Jack. And now it's time. The corporation started the breed program, and we must stop them before it's too late. Soldiers, clones, and now the breeds. This is one hell of an army.
I'm gonna pretend she uses sign language or something, and they just couldn't afford to animate her.
And Jack, now you have more advantages besides the knowledge obtained as a maintenance worker.
What advantages?
You are the new breed now. Directed evolution.
Wait, so was that it? Is this how I'm supposed to find out that it was Juana? But how would being a maintenance worker also imply that I know the map? Shit, I didn't even know the map. I was just wandering around aimlessly in the first half of the game, and I'm still doing it now. I mean, yeah, it's working, but come on, game. You gotta try harder with these cutscenes. I did call it that this is what was going to happen, though, and I guess I'm a terrorist now for reasons still not really clear. There are some pretty cool water effects here, though, even though it's texture. Again, I do have to cheat here with a crossbow hook because I can't figure out how to do it the proper way, and if the game's giving me an emergency sequence break key, well, I might as well use it. Or maybe this was the right way to solve it, who the hell knows at this point. I do find a big, slow elevator which takes me up very slowly up to an earlier level that I had to deal with in maintenance. Remember how I said that one of the levels was 45 seconds long? I just slowly go past it to the offices where I had to take tasks? Okay, cool. As much fun as it would be to go up to my old maintenance desk to get a job that says kill the terrorist or jump off a bridge, sadly the game doesn't treat this level as anything special, and just going up the elevator you normally use to come down there is a solution. You come back to the hub area where your apartment is, and sadly crossbowing your way across the map doesn't work here. Just wait for the enemies to spot you and run across the entire map to get shot close range, and then, well, there's nothing to do in my apartment and the door to the bar is closed. The only way forward is to go through this tunnel area with a tram. And after another shootout in what is essentially a glorified executive parking lot, my attempts at figuring out where to go led me out of bounds, which for once is clearly the wrong place to go, because the right place is to go to a small panel on the side of a door and then get lost some more. Now, I know I'm coming onto the home stretch. I start using the sniper rifle more because while it's less forgiving than the shotgun if you miss and takes time to recharge, I haven't found shotgun ammo in a while and it's been terrible at range. And while being outside is cool, it's short-lived because this door takes me back to the same area I was just in. Except now I have to actually shoot my way through this instead of just sitting in the middle of the level enjoying my ride. It doesn't help that I can't see what's shooting me because of the fog, so I have to peek from cover and hope I can kill everyone before they kill me. But at some point, I get to the middle and take up the elevator to Aftermath again. Alright, so do I just do the same thing and maybe a door in a later level opens up? Well, I'm back at the hub area, but the only door that opens up is a tram. And there's nothing I can do but take it, which still sends me further back. I'm not gonna replay all of this. I thought about what could be the solution, just said screw it. If the game wants me to suffer this badly, I'm just gonna skip it. Thankfully, this game has some awesome cheat codes, like a level select. I guess it was wrong of me to take the elevator in the middle of the room. Well, stupid me, but I'm not playing through fog hell again. I'm just skipping over the warp. And now don't get me wrong, now that I know that I can skip levels, I'm not going to be skipping levels just because. I'm still going to be playing through them, I'm just going to use them when I can't progress any further. Congratulations game, you only had to make me cheat once. So I just wander around offices and hallways and boardrooms and classrooms, but there's a new enemy. A sentry gun that locks onto you through walls and never stops firing. Never runs out of ammo, never takes a break. Always perfect precision. It also messes with your aim so it becomes hard to shoot it back. But it's not like it's a massive threat or anything, it's just really annoying. And I've got nothing to say about the levels over the last couple of minutes. The engineering area is a long grind, but I saw that level select, I'm almost free of this nightmare. I end up in an arena 45 minutes later after doing the same thing over and over and find out that the nuclear charge really is a nuclear charge. Everything dies. And after doing it the proper way by lobbing explosives everywhere and waiting to recharge, I'm back to playing budget Half-Life. I do end up at a nice grassy area like it's some guy's apartment though, with a swimming pool and everything, but I'll be honest guys, I'm burnt out already by this game. Then just walk through a door around the corner and up to a desk for another cutscene.
Well, well. Our first offspring is here. Jack Plummer. The perfect man for this experiment. The fact that you're here shows me that I was right. Not every human being transformed into a breed turned out to be a good exemplary. Except you, and someone you know very well, who's now dead. Too bad. She was a good result.
You and your corporation want to change the world. Sorry to tell you, you aren't gonna make it.
Pretty sure they already have.
Real breed thinks and acts beyond human capabilities. Let's try to improve the breed program. It'll be a success.
Let's cut the crap, Magnate. You transformed me into a breed without even asking me if I wanted this. I came here to work in the maintenance department because I wanted to remain a normal human being, not some freak.
Don't bother, Jack. You're here. Let me introduce you to someone you know very well. You could be friends, you know.
The corporation is down. There's nothing much left except for you and these awful clones.
Jack, they own the fucking city. I don't think they've lost yet. You just killed a few dozen terrorists and a few dozen employees.
I'll let you play with your little brothers.
So we're just letting him go? Alright. So after all of that, you kill these enemies and just wander around this place. I was right, it is his apartment. It looks cool. There's a massive statue in his basement. You watch the AI run into a door they can't open, finally kill him off, and... oh look, it's a final cutscene. So, no dialogue? Oh hey, look, it's the other guy. Okay.
It's over. Let's go.
Wait, what do you mean it's over? Nothing got resolved. The bad guy got away. Your revolution didn't do anything. You know, that said, final score, most tedious revolution. It takes forever to get anywhere. The levels have like triple the fat that they should have, and what good it has is so spread thin it's wasted. Plus, the ending is one of the worst I've ever seen. And it's a massive shame too, because I see how much potential this game could have had. It started to get sort of good, but still tedious. But the little bits of genius just weren't enough to carry it through. Could this have been the next Half-Life? Fuck no, but it could have been fun. I'm glad that I played it now instead of as a kid. I would have been so disappointed in this. Apparently other people's experiences were way more buggy than mine were. All I had was a warp that I couldn't get, a few moments where I felt like I needed a sequence break, and a single crashed desktop, but overall, this worked fine. I even got anti-aliasing to work without any problems in Windows 10. So, looking at what else Fun Labs have done after this, and they worked on the PS3 port of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5? Really? I mean, yeah, the game was a mess, but the port itself was alright. Huh. 10 years of progress, I guess. They did recently release yet another hunting game called Open Country on Steam, which got mixed reviews, but like, look at it. It's janky, it's cheap. What else did you expect out of it? That's basically Fun Labs in a nutshell right there, really. Anyway, so I decided to come back to Revolution to look at the multiplayer maps. Surprisingly, the multiplayer to this game still works. Hint, hint, AAA game developers, I can still play this, but I can't play your games? Anyway, the maps are interesting, but the gunplay is so bad that I couldn't see how this could be fun. I also realized exactly why the crossbow has a hook. It's to help movement in the multiplayer, so... yeah, if the gunplay was actually better, the multiplayer would be a decade ahead of the times. I can't even think of ways it could be better though, because maybe like better animations, better sounds, ragdolls might have improved it, but would that be enough? A couple of the single player maps return, but there's a lot of unique ideas in here that you don't see carried over to the single player. So yeah, that's the game. Hopefully you now have felt what it's like to play it, because I sure have, and if you're still here, man, I salute you guys. Congrats on making it to the ending.